We take you to Zimbabwe now, where it's at the center of Africa's lithium boom, with a growing global demand for the mineral used in electric vehicle batteries and clean energy. But who really benefits from the so-called white gold? That's the question we're asking. Joining us now is Dr. Jabulani Shaba, a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Groningen in Netherlands and an author of a recent article unpacking the political economy of lithium mining in Zimbabwe. He argues that without stronger regulation and community-focused policies, Zimbabwe risks losing out again on the vast mineral wealth. Dr. Shaba, thank you so much for joining us. Much appreciated for your time.
Thank you, Tsepiso, for having me.
So if we could just start with a bit of context. When did Zimbabwe find itself at the center of this lithium boom, and what has happened thus far in terms of the management of its mining and, of course, the proceeds thereof?
Right, yeah, maybe just to take you a little bit back, lithium mining in Zimbabwe is not new. It began being mined around the 1950s, but it's only recently around 2021 where, there was a surge of artisanal miners flocking to, these areas that were rich in lithium. So from there on, because of an increasing population of artisanal miners in the lithium sector, in 2022, the government decided to implement a ban on the exportation of raw lithium, which was also meant on, curtailing lithium smuggling, but also reducing the number of artisanal miners that they. So what we have seen is the government trying to, implement policies to harness, the transformative potential of lithium.
And just to explain a little bit more about these concentrate export bans, how they will work. So you've also spoken about sacrifice zones. Is that in relation to this?
So basically, when we look at the lithium concentrate ban, the government plans to implement it in 2027. But what that has done is that it has sparked a lot of, public debate as to why would the government want to wait on such a critical mineral commodity. Remember, Zimbabwe is, the largest lithium reserve, but also the fifth globally, together, with platinum. So I think when we talk of sacrifice zones, these are communities that are, located near the lithium mines, which actually bear the brunt of, of lithium extraction. So with the ban of the lithium concentrate, the government plans to improve local value chains, local beneficiation of lithium. But then the question still remains, why is the government, being slow in actually, implementing this kind of a crucial and timely policy?
Which is intriguing because, as you say, it's more the Chinese companies that reap the value of lithium mining in Zimbabwe because, as you say, you as a country export it, and these Chinese companies then turn it into lithium-ion batteries, etc. So why would the government do that? Because it does not benefit the people of Zimbabwe. It, in fact, benefits a government of another continent.
Mm-hmm. And I think that also brings the question of policies. How, in as much as the government of Zimbabwe has the right policy frameworks, but sometimes the way it implements these policies is appears to be questionable, because waiting for so long would result in different implications. For example, right now, globally, there are different mechanisms that are being put in place to try to also replace lithium. So, for example, sodium-ion batteries that are also a bit faster and more efficient than lithium. So waiting for the next 2 years to implement the ban really has repercussions. So it's really a question of why the government would introduce such a crucial policy, but wait for such a long time to then implement it.
You spoke about artisanal miners earlier on. So firstly, is artisanal lithium mining illegal in Zimbabwe? And secondly, is there any idea, given the fact that people would be doing it under the cover of the night, so to speak, is there an idea of how much lithium is actually being mined in Zimbabwe at the moment?
So, according to estimates from Statista, it shows that since 2015, about 480,000 metric tons of lithium have been mined. But also to just come back to your question, artisanal lithium mining through the lithium ban in 2022 was made illegal. But then trying to put artisanal lithium miners within the developmental policy of lithium is quite important, but we also have to realize how the materiality of mining lithium is different from artisanal miners in gold mining or diamond mining. So it's largely large scale and is dependent on large scale machinery. So I think the government really has to create a different caveat where the labor of artisanal miners is integrated within the large-scale lithium mining industry in the country.
And just to go back to your point about waiting too long, especially to reap benefits for the country, you spoke about how the ban, if implemented now, could actually increase Zimbabwe's self-sufficiency in lithium processing. Can you tell us how? You say the laws are there. Is it about the implementation, or is it about, the interpretation of the implementation?
Yeah, so I think it also comes with the implementation and regulation of lithium that is sort of lacking in the country, or that needs much of improvement. And just to take you contextually, this ban of lithium mining or lithium mineral exports is not new. Within the economic history of Zimbabwe, there has been, bans on export of certain, mineral commodities such as chrome or even diamonds. But then it has also reproduced the same kind of results where we see that the ban also benefits people who could be politically connected or kind of elite network that then only benefits from such a crucial mineral in the country.
Which is what I was going to ask about the communities that live around where lithium mining activity takes place. Is the ban to protect them? Are they reaping any benefit at all from, lithium deposits in and on their land?
So I think one of the first things that comes out within any mining really across the world is that communities that are close to the mining area hardly, benefit, but actually endure, different ecological hazards and risks such as, dust from the blasting, water pollution, but more importantly, even forced resettlement and displacement in these areas. So in as much as maybe the government would want to implement pro-poor or pro-people policies, it hasn't happened. And lithium is just another mineral commodity, but the history of other minerals has shown us that really communities hardly benefit. And whenever there are other mining communities that are there, we see that workers suffer from human rights abuses. We have seen a lot of social media videos on some workers, mine workers, enduring kind of brutality across some of the mines that are in the country. But this is not to demonize what the government is trying to do, but also just to invite critical thinking and critical questioning so that the country at the end of the day benefits from its natural resources.
And just finally, how would the government go about doing this and the regulation in a people-centered manner, while also holding to account some of these companies that you say are not only ill-treating workers, but also taking the value for themselves, while not repelling investment at the same time?
So I think your question actually raises critical debates to think about. And this is kind of debate that has been there also within the lithium mining sector, to say that in one point, the government is preaching, resource nationalism, taking monopoly and autonomy of its natural resources for it to benefit, right? But then we also see that, stimulating sustainable socio-economic development has not been really achieved, because the everyday lives of these people in these mining communities have more or less remain the same. So I think the government really needs to regulate its mining sector, but also ensure transparency. And there has been cases, for example, case in point, the recent, I think the Al Jazeera Gold Mafia documentary, which kind of exposed some of the politically connected people within this sector, although the government denied that kind of stance, but also there's need for transparency, and transparency should also be thought through the rule of law. So in a country that has rule of law, then transparency across any other economic sectors is easier to achieve. So I think it really comes down to transparency, but also consulting these local communities when the government is drafting some of these policies, so that they are part of the decision-making processes. Because some people would just be told, no, this is state land, state mine, you need to move elsewhere. So there has to be some kind of consistency in terms of policy implementation, but also transparency. And I think these would be very crucial and pivotal if Zimbabwe is really to benefit from its natural resources like lithium.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated, and very interesting topic to explore with you, and your insights, adding to our learnings. Dr. Jabulani Shaba is a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Groningen in Netherlands, and he's author of a recent article speaking about the political economy of lithium in Zimbabwe.